everyone. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, June the 4th. I'm going to get everybody in the room, hopefully. Good morning. All right. I think we're doing good now. Good morning. So glad to have everybody joining us this morning. Hope everybody's doing well, staying safe. And as usual, you know the drill. Chat your comments in. If you're watching us on YouTube, chat comments in there. Julia will pull them over to Zoom for us so that we can capture them and be sure to bring them up. And after the fact, auxiliary.uga.edu. Click on auxiliary connections. Survey and feedback is where you want to go, and you can leave the comments or questions there. So with that, I will turn it over to Allison to get us started for this morning with marketing communications.
All right. Thanks, Catherine. Hi, everyone. I'm Allison Brannon. I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager for Auxiliary Services. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Just give me 1 second. We have a little presentation. Okay. Lene, can you confirm for me that we're seeing our presentation there? All right, good. So first of all, I want to say thank you for joining us. And also, I'm just really excited to be able to have this opportunity to connect with you all. You know, it's not often that we get to speak to our larger auxiliary team. And so I'm really excited to be able to talk to you today about what we have been doing over the past couple months, as well as what we're looking at going forward. So with that, I want to tell you a little bit about our team and introduce you to who works on marketing for you. So we have five of us who support the marketing efforts for auxiliary services. And this team has grown a lot over the years. I actually started with the university 9 years ago. And when I started here, the marketing team was focused on dining services and consisted of 2 people. So over the past years, we have centralized like many of the other support teams that you've been hearing from this week. And with that, we've also grown in size. So that allows us to support you all in more ways and to support more of our departments within auxiliary. A little bit of background on me. Like I said, I joined UGA team 9 years ago. Before that, I had worked full-time with Georgia Southern University in their dining service department as doing marketing down there. I had actually gone to Georgia Southern as a student and began working in their dining program at their Starbucks when I was a student employee. And from that job, I was able to transition into a full-time job there in marketing and then come up here. So even though I don't have that student job at UGA, the transition of a student employee to full-time at a university is one that is really near to me, and we like to talk about with our student employees here. Also, auxiliary services has been near and dear to me for my whole career. I also recently completed my master's degree at UGA, so that was a really great experience to be able to go to school here. So with that, I will turn it over to our team to introduce themselves to you and start with Sam.
Thanks, Allison. Hey, everybody. My name is Sam Pittard. I am from Athens originally, grew up huge Georgia Bulldogs fan, and my parents both went to school here, so I was a legacy. I went to school here as well. Left Athens a couple of times and came back, and married and have a child here, plan to stay here as long as I can. So I've always been a big supporter of the university in one way or another, and I worked at the Red and Black student newspaper for about a dozen years before coming to UGA almost 10 years ago. So nearly a decade now. And I worked in auxiliary under Max Harrell, who many of you know from auxiliary. And I worked under him when the printing department was still an auxiliary unit, and then went to the Terry College of Business for 3 years. And when the opportunity came up to come back to auxiliary, I jumped at the chance. And Allison and I worked together for a few years before I came to auxiliary. So we already knew each other well. And our team here that we've assembled, I think, is a really great team. And we're all kind of new, except for Allison. We've all been here a year or less. So we're sort of learning the ropes of everything as we go along. But you know, we're here to serve all of the units and do whatever we can to help.
And Rob, if you're on the call.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I'm Robert Irwin, and I'm marketing specialist on the marketing team. A little bit about me is that I actually started working for the university when I was a student here at UGA, and I was a resident assistant at Creswell Residence Hall. I did that for a few years, and when I graduated, I moved on and worked at Kinko's and FedEx, and came back to the university, had an opportunity to work and be hired on as an assistant manager at Oglethorpe Dining Commons and that was about 11-ish years ago. And I've had the opportunity to be the unit manager at Snelling Dining Commons and at Oglethorpe Dining Commons, and now working with the marketing team. A few of the things that I do as I work with the orientation team. I help run a mystery shopper program for dining services, as well as a student partner program where we get feedback from students. And I know that we're going into a few of those details later. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob. And we'll turn it over to Aaron.
Hey everybody, Aaron Mosby here. I'm relatively new to Athens as well as Sam said, but I came here in the fall. And I would admit prior to that, I was not aware of Athens or much of UGA, anything. So, I mean, just to be brought into this family is amazing, you know. I grew up in Virginia, went to Old Dominion University, graduating in graphic design and drawing. So from there, I moved to Baltimore and I did industrial design, graphic design, a lot of freelancing and stuff like that. And I kind of go with the flow. So, you know, the flow brought me down here. And you know, now I'm at UGA doing essentially the same thing. So a lot of times you'll see me walking around campus with the camera, putting up banners or, you know, delivering things as well, you know, and a lot of the things you see as far as graphics and stuff like that, you know, I'll have a hand in that, you know. So if you see me around campus or anything, just say what's up, you know, I'm around, friendly. Yeah.
I'll say Aaron's got much more than a hand in the graphics that you see around campus. He contributes so much to the graphic design that we do.
That's me being humble.
Yeah. So, all right, Lene.
Hi, I'm Lene Sawinski. I'm the content manager. So I manage a lot of the digital content for auxiliary services, specifically the dining and digital menus, golf course menus, advertisements on the screens around campus, as well as email marketing. So sending out MailChimp announcement email type stuff to our customers, social media, and all of the websites. I manage all the content there. I do other odds and ends here and there, but those are sort of the core things. I'm originally from Bloomington, Indiana. I graduated from Indiana University with a journalism degree. And I worked for 2 local publications there, mainly as an editor, but small teams. So, you know, really all hands on deck in terms of the type of stuff that I did, including websites there. And social media. But yeah, so I came to Athens about almost 4 years ago now, time flies. And I was able to bring one of my jobs with me, and I worked remotely for a couple of years, but then it was time to get a local job here. And so I was lucky enough to get brought into the auxiliary family and have really enjoyed my time with everyone. I love working with people. I love working with digital content. So it's really the kind of perfect place.
All right, thanks. So as we mentioned before, you know, our role here is to support all of the auxiliary units, and we want to focus on promoting the different products that we have, as well as the services and programs that we provide to students, faculty, staff, and guests on campus. We also focus on engaging with students and maintaining a brand consistency, not only within our units, but also for the university, and acts as a liaison between auxiliary services and UGA's central marketing and communications department. So the slide you're looking at now is just a list of some of the ways that we support you all. And I felt this was important because we may have some of you on the call today who may not know everything that we do. So you've heard some of this, like Lene mentioned, she works with a lot of websites. We do website and development and management for auxiliary. We actually manage over 9 different websites across the department. With the social media management, we're managing over 8 different accounts. Email marketing is very important so that we can get those messages out to our different customers and make sure that they are informed about operations and events. For digital signage, we manage over 30 different screens across campus. So we've got digital screens out at the golf course to communicate to customers about the driving range, as well as green fees and specials. We have menus in all of the dining locations. We have screens in the one-stop shop. So that's a really big part of our communication piece. We produce and edit videos. This has definitely been a section of our responsibilities that has increased since March. When we began working remotely, we had to focus on some different strategies, and one of those was videos. And we're going to share a little bit more about those videos in just a moment. Graphic design, as we said, is a huge piece. This piece is so big for us because everything we do requires some kind of graphic to tell our story, whether it's the digital content, the print content. So this is a really big piece for us. And environmental graphics. So when you think about things such as storefront signage at different locations on campus, or vehicle wraps, those are things we're doing on the environmental graphic side. We focus on paid advertising, both online and in print. We produce print materials such as brochures, different signs, banners, and then we manage PR media requests. So if we have a reporter contact us wanting to do an interview, that would be something our office would handle in coordination with UGA's central marketing office to make sure we get those questions responded to. As Rob mentioned, we manage a summer orientation team. So typically we have about 12 to 16 students working with us all summer long, and their job is to promote the auxiliary services to incoming students and parents. This year, that process looks quite different, and we're going to go into that in just a minute. We also manage mystery shoppers. So these are students who are going into our units and completing reports on the experience they had. This gives us a good snapshot of what's occurring in the units, and then we can have that feedback to managers so they can make any adjustments that they need to. The student partner program is very important. This is a program that connects our students to auxiliary administration and allows the 2 groups to engage in conversations about what's going on in auxiliary services and get that important student feedback that helps us make decisions about what we do. And then we support events. You know, we can table at different events. We advertise events. We provide the resources to make an event successful. We provide photography at those events and so on. And the last thing I have there is the Watch for Dogs Safety Program. I've mentioned this before on a session earlier, but we are working on a campus-wide safety initiative to address things such as bicycle, pedestrian, and vehicle safety. So that's a big piece of what we do. So before we get into a lot of the Fall Ready, and really as a part of Fall Ready, what we wanted to share with you is the ways that we've been staying connected throughout this time with customers, because it has been very important for us to keep that customer connection, not only to just engage with them, but also to prepare those incoming students for what to expect when they get on campus in fall. So I'm going to turn it over to Lene here so that she can tell you a little bit about the social media content we've been working on.
Yeah, so as Allison said, we were really focus on keeping communications open with our customers via social media. Obviously, that had to change a bit once everybody dispersed from campus. And so we really focused in the beginning of the COVID-19 stuff to get those messages out there, so people knew what was happening, that kind of thing. But then once it started to become a bit of our new normal, we wanted to get back into providing content for our customers. So this is just a snapshot of what we've been doing for dining. Starting on the left, we started sending out recipes from the Dining Commons. So some of it is, popular recipes. Nutrition has been helping us a lot by providing these recipes. There's even nutrition information on them. But scaling these recipes down and sending them to us so people can make them in their own homes. Students may not be used to cooking as much as since their parents maybe cooked for them, and now they're on their own and getting bored with the choices that they have. So we wanted to give them some options that they probably really enjoyed from the Dining Commons. And we also are taking requests. So most of these are actually by request. They're ones that people have asked for. And obviously Taste of Home did not happen in March. So we wanted to be able to provide those recipes out to our customers so they can make them in their own kitchens, since they weren't able to have them on campus. And this has been a really, really fun project. We've had a lot of people, comment with their requests and just, memories. A few of them are recipes that aren't provided anymore, but people wanted from way back when. The other day we posted a sandwich from Old Bolton that got alumni really excited. And so it's really just, bringing people together through food in a way that they aren't in person right now. So it's been really fun to watch. We've also been working with the golf course. So Clint and John from the golf course, we have been doing lessons from home. So Clint's ones have been from the backyard, and things you can do, whether or not you have clubs at home necessarily, to just get your game improved while you can't be on the course. So that's been a really, really fun thing to be working on as well. I mean, it's stuff from, practicing your posture in the window of your door to 100 swings a day. It's wide, or a wide variety of topics there. That's been fun. We've been posting those about roughly weekly. So that it's been fun watching our people who want to frequent the golf course but can't. They're getting to do some stuff from home. Then we also had a comment very early on Twitter from somebody who was very sad that she realized that she probably has already had her last Miss Sandra hug, and was very upset about it as a graduating senior. And so we figured that doing a digital hug would probably be a bit of comfort in an unsettling time. So we hooked up with the UGA social media, the main group there, and sent them a video of Miss Sandra, who so graciously filmed one from her home and sent it to us, giving everyone a very special Miss Sandra hug that we all love. And so that actually, I mean, as you can see, more than 100,000 views, and that's just on Twitter alone. We also shared it on Instagram and Facebook. So it's gotten a lot of views, and people were very comforted. Alumni were so excited to see Miss Sandra again. Seniors were, everybody was so emotional. It was a really, really fun thing to watch. And then right above that, you can see a screen grab from our congratulations to seniors graduation commencement video, which was really fun. We did it all through Zoom. We called the dogs. It worked out really well. That was another collaboration with the UGA social media people. And it was a really fun way to bring our team together, our auxiliary team together, and congratulate the students who have done so much work. So this is just a little bit of what we've done. We've done a number of other things, and we're excited to get back on campus and start, talking about our events again and stuff like that. But we've had a lot of fun sort of switching it up the past few months.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who has helped us with these videos. There are so many of our staff members in auxiliary that our students love and miss. And so they like to see the faces, whether it's the staff from the golf course or the staff from transportation and parking. Um, those faces are really important for them to see. So we can continue working with the different units to give messages from staff as we move forward. If you have an interest in that, please, let us know and we can work with you all there. Also, if you're interested in seeing any of the golf videos or things that Lene discussed, you can just access those by going to the social media accounts of either golf or dining and accessing those there. We will be providing some links after our presentations of several of the things we're going to be talking about. And I believe Lene has uploaded many of those links already to the resources page within Auxiliary Connections. So with that, I think it's really important for us to share with you what's going on with online orientation, because we're used to being on campus for the summer and having students come in all summer long and speaking to them. And obviously that has gone online. So we have worked with UGA's orientation to establish an orientation module for each one of our units that students are required to complete before they can register for classes. So what you're seeing here on the screen are two examples of what those pages would look like. Even though I just have transportation in the bookstore up here as an example, every unit has their own page. And these pages contain a video. Several of the videos that we're going to be talking about in just a minute are on these pages so that students can see them, as well as just a wealth of information on important resources and services that your unit provides. So they will be able to read about textbooks, they'll be able to read about bus service, parking permits, as well as watch those videos and get good information here. We're also working with orientation to do what's called Dog Talk webinars. Auxiliary Services is going to have two different webinars this summer, one in June and one in July, where we can speak directly with those incoming students. We'll be doing a presentation as if we were in person, but then we'll also have representatives from each unit on the call acting as panelists to field any questions that come in. So we're excited about that. There's an online resource fair as well, which has information from auxiliary services on it for students to look at. And so, that's a lot of what we've been doing to make sure students still get that information before they get here in the fall. So with that, I'm going to move on to the informational videos that we've been talking about, and I'm going to turn it over to Sam here so he can give a little more information.
All right. Thanks, Allison. So these are, as you can tell by seeing the screen grabs of them here, these are videos we have worked with various units to put together. The top two there are Catherine and Mariah from the nutrition team. And these are pretty in-depth videos for, it says informational videos, and that's exactly what these are. They're mostly aimed at people that are not familiar with campus or with our units yet. So could be incoming freshmen or transfer students, things like that. But it could also apply to a wider range of people. So the dietary needs and the eating healthy videos are very in-depth. Lots of great information there that really you're not going to stumble across unless you really seek it out on a website. We do have that information on our websites, but it may not be as easy to find or concise as just going to one of these videos. So it's been great working with folks, Linda Pack and Nick Adcock from parking, did just great explanations of how, to register and how the priority system works, which, seems like a mystery to most people, I think. So those were both great. And Kai, who is one of our bus drivers, helped us with how to track the UGA buses. And like I said a minute ago, all of these people are, a wealth of information about their various subject matter. They are the experts. So rather than our team being the ones trying to make these on our own, we go to the experts. They've been great to work with. A couple of times we've said, can you shoot again and be over here and be over there? And it's a little odd because, with the COVID situation being the way it is, we're not able to go to them, and we can't bring professional equipment and boom microphones and backdrops and all these things. So everybody's been great, and that goes all the way up to our senior administration. We've shot a lot of video with them, and they're really doing most of the work, and then we put it together on the back end. And Lene has done a lot of work, and Rob and Aaron too, and Aaron has made all these title cards and whatnot. So we've touched on a lot of different areas with these, and this is just a small sample of them, but there's other instructional videos coming that we're working on right now. And I believe these will be included in the links at the end of today's session. And we'll also be pushing these out through social media, as the time is needed for that. So, and like Allison said, anybody feels like a subject matter expert on a particular thing that would be useful to students, to campus at large, please reach out to us. And, we are, glad to talk about what we can do to help, the campus in general.
Yeah, the video is a great way to communicate with our students. This is something we were wanting to get into and focus on more anyway. So, it's been good to be able to do that. As we look to return to campus, there may be videos we want to put together to, help students understand new processes. So to echo what Sam said, if you see some subjects that you think would be beneficial, please let us know. I did also want to go back one slide and note that in our online orientation section, as well as just in several other places, we have also been really highlighting our 360 virtual tours. This was really great that we already had them done. We had 360 tours of the golf course, the bookstore, Bolton Dining Commons, Tate dining locations, as well as all the UGA bus stops were actually completed before any of the COVID situation happened. So those have been a great resource for us to be able to share out to students so that they can see our units in the campus before they even get here. We've also shared those with the visitor center and other resources so they have them available. And so the last thing I wanted to talk about as far as what we've been doing over the past couple months is also focusing on our website development and redesigns. We have been working for a while now to transition all of the auxiliary websites from one web platform to another one. In February, we completed the catering site. And then when we went off campus, we continued working on our project list and have actually been able to release or develop these 3 sites that you're seeing here. So we migrated the golf course site. That's a beautiful site. If you've not seen it, just golfcourse.uga.edu. It's a very visual site, which just shows off the beauty of our golf course. And then we established a new website for the one-stop shop. And this was really important because the one-stop shop is establishing themselves as their own department. And so we needed to provide them with a resource that could help do that. And it was also great timing because now we have a website that gives students a central place that they can go to from off campus to get help with all those services that they would that they need to access, such as dining and transportation and the bookstore and so on. So check that one out. And then we launched the Watch for Dogs website, which is the website that's focused on bike and pedestrian safety across campus. So that is a really great website full of helpful resources. So please check those out. And if you have any feedback, you can email me, let me know. We'll be glad to consider anything. And then we're currently working on the transportation and parking services website, getting that one migrated over. So that should be coming here soon. So now as we transition to some more of the getting fall ready, we wanted to talk about work environment and schedules. So for phase 1, our plan is to remain remote as we are right now, just doing what we've been doing. And we will be assessing how and when we return as we approach each phase. We're most likely going to see our team return more slowly to campus, as you're hearing is consistent with a lot of the other support teams, as we're able to work behind the computer a lot. And we'll be implementing those rotating schedules as we do come back to campus. This could have an impact on how and when we deliver print signage to you all. So we're looking at having a set delivery schedule for certain days of the week with the drop-off location. We will, of course, be wearing the proper PPE when we deliver any materials to you all, so that we're, abiding by your guidelines as well as the university's guidelines. And, that said, we're going to get into a lot of signage needs, and we are already working with each of the units on what they need, both for customer and employee signage. We're connected with UGA's Central Marketing and Communications Office, and we're working with them to plan what those communication resources are that's going to be needed for reopening. So this means that we're working with them to ensure that signage design and messaging is consistent across campus. So if we've got floor graphics in the dining hall that talk about please stand here or one way, or maybe they talk about how to wear a mask or wash your hands, that signage is consistent with what students, faculty, and staff are seeing in other areas of campus too. So that's a really important piece that we're working on. Also, from that, we'll be able to get some templates where we can input messages that are unique to our operations. So we understand that the golf course is going to have signage that's unique to them. Transit's going to have signage unique to them, as well as parking. And we'll be able to take those messages, put them into these templates, and ensure we have that consistency across campus. And then, when we talk about communication strategies, I mean, external communications as we get on campus is going to be really important. And we understand there's going to be a lot of those, and that those are going to be changing as we go through the different phases. So I've already mentioned several of the resources that we have available as ways to communicate to our students and guests on campus. And we're working with each unit through each phase to make sure that we're prepared to communicate through not only through signage, but email, social media, websites, and so on. We're also working with units on what they need right now and how we need to adapt. So for instance, dining services in April each year, they do a continue to dine program where they where we promote to the returning students and sell meal plans before they go off campus for the summer. Obviously, with the COVID situation, that event did not happen this year. So we've been working on a postcard that we can mail out to those students and get them the information about the meal plan that they need. And we're looking at doing the same kind of thing for auxiliary as a whole. So we have a little bit of a print piece that can go out to students and tell them about transportation and parking and some of the things that would be covered over orientation. And we also realize that we're going to need to focus on some different messaging as we return. So we know that we're going to need to promote walking and biking as alternative transportation on campus, and we're starting to work with different groups on that. We're starting to work with EITS on the UGA app and seeing about getting notifications in the live bus tracking feature so that if we have a detour or a change within those routes, we can put a message up that people using the UGA app can see. And we're also going to be working with them on that promotion of walking and biking routes more heavily. So, there's going to be a lot of moving pieces with the external communications, and we understand that there's going to be, situations that are changing, and we're there to work with you all to get the messages that you need out. As far as internal communications, how you all can communicate with us, definitely through our ticketing system. Some of you are already familiar with the ticketing system we have. If you're not familiar with that, that is going to be one of the links that we provide to everybody. But you can go online to the Team Dynamics ticketing system, put in a website request, a print request, a graphic design request. And that's a really effective program because it gets your request to the right person more efficiently than it would if you were to just email one of us. So definitely want to reiterate taking advantage of that. But we're also available for phone calls, emails, Zoom meetings. I really like talking on the phone right now because we're all away. So if you want to give me a call, you can do that. And we'll most likely be conducting conducting Zoom meetings a lot as we return to campus. And then one of the things I've been talking to the Auxiliary Connections content group about is the possibility of us doing some focus groups with our auxiliary family to break into some smaller groups and talk with you all about marketing opportunities that you see, things you may be interested in ensuring we're thinking about as we return to campus. So hopeful that that will become a reality here soon. And we'll also be working with HR on internal communication plans for our own team. We know that as we start to move back on campus, there's going to be a lot of messaging. So we want to make sure that that internal communication flow is well established and effective. So that's going to be something we're working on actually this week. So with that, I believe I've covered everything that I had to cover. I'm going to go back to my team and just make sure, see if anybody else has any additional comments. So Lene, Sam, Rob, or Aaron, anything you want to add?
You have covered it expertly.
All right, so if there's nothing else to add, I guess we can open it up for questions.
All right. I want to address, because for the benefit of our YouTube watchers, one of the questions that came up earlier was where do we find the recipes? And the answer to that was they're on the UGA Dining Instagram page, also on the Facebook and Twitter accounts. And let's see, mystery shoppers have historically been students. Has there been any thought given to utilizing staff and faculty too? They are also customers and may actually provide more detailed feedback than student shoppers.
Yeah, that's a great thought. We have traditionally just used students, so that's definitely a piece of feedback that we could look at and see how it could work in the program.
Okay. The informational videos, just for everybody, again, on the YouTube that can't see the chats here, question came about how to connect to the informational videos, and they are all on the additional resources page on the Auxiliary Connections link. You got some kudos for the catering website, said it looks great. Schedule, you said that you guys will, phase one, you will be still remote and will have a signage, a drop-off schedule as far as print material is concerned, and where will people find that schedule?
Well, I would imagine that we could email that out to the management groups of each team as we work to get that established. We may also could utilize the Auxiliary Connections page if that's a possibility.
Any other questions out there? We've gone through the questions that are out in here now. So any other thoughts, ideas, questions for the marketing communications team? Type them in. Just making sure I didn't miss anything. The sessions, the videos for the online orientation that are mandatory. How does that work? Will it be like a registration flag for them? They can't register for classes until they've completed all of the check boxes, if you will.
Yeah, that's a process that the orientation office is managing. But when incoming students are coming into the orientation process, they're registering for what's called virtual small groups. And these virtual small groups are held with their orientation leaders. If you're familiar with the UGA orientation process, they have orientation leaders all summer working with students. So they're still doing that, but in a virtual capacity. And so once they register for that virtual small group, they gain access to the orientation modules. And then they have to complete those before they register. So I can't speak to the exact details of how orientation is managing that process, but I do know that they have to complete those modules before they can register for classes.
Sorry, I had muted myself. The food truck. Can you talk about the food truck and the new wrap and the marketing strategy around the new wrap? I didn't even know there was a new wrap.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that is something we're ready to talk about at this point. It's still being developed, and that's something we're working with dining on. So I'm hesitant to talk about it without working with dining on that first. So if you could give us a little more time, that might be good.
It's going to be cool though.
Yeah, coming soon.
Coming soon to a food truck near you.
I see somebody asked about, where was it there? Catherine said, if students started online orientations yet, are they following a set schedule? And they have begun orientation. There is a set schedule, but we are not the developers of that schedule. So we've essentially given the parts that we knew we needed to provide for that. So hopefully that answers that question. But
Yeah, they some students gained access earlier in March, and I think more of the students are getting access now that we're into the June time period. But that schedule is a little bit different than it would be for a normal in-person orientation.
And I will say that the marketing team has been a major partner in getting these auxiliary connections set up. We were could not have gotten where we were or where we are without their partnership, and we are greatly appreciate their support and participation as well. Kudos for that. Appreciate it very much. I believe Mr. Robert Holden wanted to jump in as well. As long as you didn't bring your spoon. Did you bring a spoon?
You always got to stir the pot. It keeps things from sticking to the bottom. So
I'm going to sign off the meeting now if he's going to start.
now, you guys, anybody that is participating in this, if you don't know what they're doing in the background, it's incredible. With Aaron and Lene and Sam and Allison and Rob all working there, and our students that are working with us on all of this, it's incredible what we've done. And if you look at some of the things, if you go over to Bolton, you look at the lemongrass, the changes that were made over there, that was all done inside with our graphics team doing that. Probably one of the biggest billboards we have is really the electric buses. And you go around, they designed that wrap that is on those electric buses. And it is truly incredible when you think about the scale and the size and how impressive it looks. I mean, it's a signature piece, but it goes down to every little piece that we touch, because when we're talking about what we do on campus, the marketing team is that thread that's running throughout. And if you go back 5-6 years ago, it was very much everybody kind of working on their own in their own little silos. And what we've been able to do is build an incredible team that has such incredible skills in the graphics area, in being able to connect with people, in being able to do and follow all of the online opportunities that are out there, whether it's Twitter or Facebook, any of these things that we had difficulty doing as individuals, now we're bringing that together. It is just incredible. And our team, when you look at it, Allison has a really close connection with marketing and communications. And even when we're supposed to be looking at how we run through different groups, our team has been elevated to having direct connections with those groups because of the respect that they have built. So when you think about it, every little sign you see, every monitor that you see, every one of those places that you're thinking that it's just kind of in the background, you know, a sign that's on a digital menu board, a screen that's up there, when you're seeing all of that stuff, they have been there making sure that everything is worked on and going correctly. And I know that there was a question about the food truck, and they have done some design work on it. And of course, you know, we're in a situation right now where we're trying not to spend additional money. So we're kind of looking at that. But sometimes the design work is one of those things that takes time to develop. So even though that there is some preliminary work that's been done, we've had some discussions on whether or not we need to go in one direction or another. So it's not that it can't be shared, it's that it's not ready to be shared for prime time. The people that are working on these things, incredibly talented. It's so cool to be able to see the stuff that is coming out of there. So just my little kudos to the team. You know, I am honored to be able to be a part of our auxiliary services team because we have so many talented people working with us, and we're doing so many cool things. So Allison, thank you to you and your team. And I look forward to when we can actually be closer together instead of just face-to-face on Zoom. So, thank you.
Thanks.
Question came in. Do you guys find that your work at home suffers any from working remotely, or do you expect to maintain any of the changes you've made once COVID is a non-issue?
I do not find that my work suffers. I find it very easy to work from home for me. You know, I like being, working remotely is good for me, but I also enjoy being on campus. And, you know, I think working remotely right now, because everybody is working remotely, makes it easy as operations get back onto campus and we have needs that we need to respond to. Obviously, there's going to be that need to have some presence back on campus, and support you all and get you what you need and get you the print signage, and just be aware of, you know, what's going on, being able to walk through the units and see what's happening. But I can't speak for everybody else on my team, so I'll turn it over to them.
I agree with Allison. I was just telling her a couple of days ago, anybody that knows me knows I'm a talker. So it's probably a good thing for me to be working from home a lot of times, because I tend to be more focused on, you know, one subject matter for a longer period of time without interruption, other than the occasional dog bark or something like that. But yeah, I've found that we're actually, I feel like we're more productive in a lot of ways in the current situation. I know that's not true for everybody, but in a marketing and communications environment, it's been pretty conducive to us, you know, working remotely. But as Allison said, you know, once we start to gear back up and, you know, phase 2, phase 3 are implemented and people are getting back to campus, then you'll be seeing more and more and more of us, I'm sure. How about you, Lene?
I always love going into the office. I love being a part of a big group and seeing people, but yeah, working from home, I'm used to it. I worked remotely for a couple of years before coming over to UGA and auxiliary. So it's not new for me. Sometimes it's nice to just get out of the house. So like there's give and take with with being home. But yeah, I think for the most part, it's been a pretty smooth transition. I mean, there are little things like getting into our drive was you know, not the easiest thing in the world to do, but we've sort of got a system now, and for the most part, it's been really, really smooth they keep working from home.
I believe I know I'm speaking from the HR side, and I think you guys, because we're as closely connected as we are, can also kudos that and ditto, not kudos, but ditto I think we're a little busier now remotely working than we are on campus working. So yeah, it's definitely it's a different pay, a different busy, but we're super busy. You're getting much love for Aaron for your photography skills and for the bus wraps. Everybody's loving the bus wraps. One question about special events. Will special events still take place as usual? Do we know?
I think that's something we're going to have to, rely on the university and USG and other administration guidelines on. And then there'll also be an individual unit piece to that too. But we will support whatever that looks like. I would just defer to what those guidelines will be as they come out. Robert may have some additional comments on that.
Well, there is no as usual at this point in time. So that's the problem. We have to wait and see where we are in different phases. And as soon as there's a vaccine developed, it's going to change everything. But right now, what we have to be able to do is make sure that what we can do is to provide those special opportunities within the guidelines of what we have to do with COVID-19. So some events will happen. They're going to be much different than they've been in the past because we just won't be able to do the gatherings the way that we've done in the past. So it's going to be different, but we're going to find opportunities to be able to provide what we can throughout that.
Let's see. Somebody noticed the drone behind Sam. Are we using drones for any of our media?
Worried now. I don't.
The drones are, you have to have a license and everything like that. We do have some drone footage of the golf course that we were able to work with some other groups to obtain, but we do not have a drone for the marketing department.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
I'm paranoid there's a drone hovering around me. This is a Lego Millennium Falcon, if that's what anybody was thinking.
Yes. We do know pilot though, so we can get some aerial footage if we need it.
Yeah.
Let's see. I feel like I missed. Robert's not liking working from home. He prefers connecting with people in person. And
I enjoy connecting with people too, so don't get me wrong. And I will say too, for us, being able to see what's going on campus and being able to see the activity in students, that's a really big piece for us to be able to do our jobs effectively.
Let's see.
Stuart Ivy has offered his drone to us, so there we go.
Yeah, I see that now. You can borrow Stuart's drone.
We're fully licensed and bonded. I think we'll take probably pretty good care of it, Stuart.
Probably pretty good care. That's I don't know if that'd be enough for me. Any other thoughts, comments?
Hey, Catherine.
Hey, Randolph.
How y'all doing? Hello, auxiliary family. I was on the YouTube version, but I needed to crash the Zoom party. There was a comment, I think Dana Harvins, I just joined the Zoom, so I can't see the comment, but Dana asked about our focus on inclusion. So I wanted to quickly answer that. Number one, we're open to ideas from any and everyone as a part of the auxiliary family to include both the availability of resources that we make open to our customers, our faculty, our staff, about diversity and inclusion. So we're open to as many ideas that can come for ways for us to grow and improve and expand our efforts there. On Tuesday, we're looking forward to a facilitated discussion about diversity and inclusion, where we would, as a family, just talk about those things. And one of the most important things for us would be to really discuss how do we as auxiliary learn, grow, and mirror what needs to happen when a group of people who are different from each other come and work together and interact and engage and build some really strong, lasting relationships. So Dana, I'm looking forward to that conversation. I'm looking forward to you all joining that conversation. And as far as Allison was talking, I was also thinking, so I may go back and the content team and the marketing team, we may also think about what are those inclusive things that can either be a part of our digital marketing or other print things that we have that really makes the statement that we're one family and that we're a family made out of a really diverse group of people. So it has been on our radar even before what was happening here, what's happening in the country now. I've had some lengthy conversations with Robert and Brett about our diversity and inclusion efforts. And so, yeah, we're going to continue learning, we're going to continue growing, but we're fully open to ideas that any member of the auxiliary family has. There was a letter that went out yesterday, an email, a statement from the leadership team, just about where we stand in auxiliaries in terms of diversity and inclusion. So if you haven't had a chance to look at it, it came from the Connections email. Take a chance and look at it. We're going to also send that same letter, a slightly varied version of it, to our students, student workers, as well as our part-time and MBE folks. So continue to look out for the messaging that we do, but continue to think about when you come back to an operational space, how do you make our space a diverse and inclusive one? Not just for the people who you work alongside, but for our customers who come in our door. We want to create a space where people leave and say, you know what, it was great to see people work together like that, but it was great as a customer to be treated with fairness and equity and respect. So Dana, lots of behind the scenes work going on, but we're open to your suggestions and comments. Catherine, I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna stop my video now. Sorry.
Okay. Well, thanks for popping in. Always welcome. So, any last thoughts, things to say, Allison? Any Sam, any team? Anybody have anything? Any parting words for the morning?
No, I'm good. Just, thanks everybody for joining us, and thank you for all the comments that came through. We like working with you all. So
Yeah, agree.
hope you enjoyed the videos we are going to provide.
Yes, so be sure and check those out, auxiliary.uga.edu on the auxiliary connections, and then additional resources. Go check out the videos. Well, we'll do a pop quiz later maybe and see if you've watched the videos. You never know. Thanks everybody. This afternoon, join us at 2:00 and we'll be hearing from transportation and parking and what they have planned as far as fall ready. So everybody, we'll see you at 2:00 and look forward to that, and enjoy the rest of your morning. Bye everybody.
See ya.